Welcome back to my channel. I'm James, and today we've got one of these classic films that really is one of those films that has endured for years and years. It's got some great acting, and it's such a great musical that, to be honest with you, is one of the most catchy musical theme songs of all time. So I'm excited to announce we're gonna deep dive into Singing in the Rain on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray. Now, this is a brand new restoration to celebrate the 70th anniversary of Singing in the Rain. It's kind of crazy to think of that it's been 70 years, but man, does time fly since this film originally came out. Now, when I was growing up, I watched this film a lot with my family, and it was one of those things my parents introduced me to, and I've always had a really great appreciation for classic cinema and the actors and what went into these films to begin with. Well, I was excited when Warner Brothers announced they were going to do a brand new restoration and remaster for the 70th anniversary of Singing in the Rain. I always am curious though, how is this going to compare to the original Blu-ray release that came out back in 2012? Well, I'm going to do my exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons and testing on this review. So I'm going to be comparing this to the original Blu-ray release that came out in 2012, which is the only other release that Warner Brothers has done on Blu-ray of Singing in the Rain. I'll tell you what the image quality differences are, then I'm going to dive into the unboxing on this, tell you the specs on this set, what you actually get in this versus the original Blu-ray, and then at the end I always wrap it up with my review score. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you never miss out on any of these exclusive videos or content that I create here on my YouTube channel. Also, make sure that all of you give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Now, we're going to start off here with the 2012 image of the Blu-ray up above. As I've talked about over the years, keep in mind when I'm comparing these Blu-rays versus the 4K Ultra HD release you see above. The 4K Ultra HD is always dumbed down to standard HDR by YouTube's algorithm. So no matter whether one has HDR10 or above, that is standard HDR. So when you watch that 4K Ultra HD on your home TV, it will always look even better than what you see in those 4K images. But since standard Blu-ray doesn't have HDR anyways, that's what you see on your Blu-ray release. These are unfiltered images, and I've talked about that over the years. If you want some more explanations of what kind of unfiltered images means and things like that, you can go back and watch my RoboCop review here that I just did about a week or so ago. I go into a more detailed explanation about what goes into getting all the data off of these discs and things like that. But on the Singing in the Rain, there was some drastic differences between what you have on the 4K Ultra HD and the Blu-ray. Now, when that Blu-ray came out in 2012, it looked decent. I never thought that Blu-ray looked really great. I kind of thought it was a softer image. Overall, it lacked a lot of detail and depth to it. Color-wise on it, it always had kind of a little bit more of an orangey tone to me is how I interpreted it. Now, some of you might say it was more of a tanner tone or a brownish tone, but orangey, brown, and tan, I mean, they're all pretty similar in that sense. I mean, and we're not talking bright orange, we're talking darker orange, so therefore it might be more of a brownie tone, but I digress here. Basically, that's how that kind of looked. It was good, but it was never amazing. Now, with this brand new scan and restoration they did for Singing in the Rain, the original film elements were lost in the original fire that they had. That basically, the original film elements for Singing in the Rain have never been able to be rescanned because of them being lost. So this is actually compiled from all the elements that they have available now. And that's the way the original Blu-ray, to my understanding, was done as well. So it's not that the 4K had lesser things to work with than the Blu-ray did. It has the same elements that that Blu-ray was supposedly made with originally. It's just they were able to do brand new restoration. The technology, the software, the scanning software, all of that has progressed so much farther from when 2012 when that Blu-ray was made. They've been able to do so much more with this. They were able to fix speckles and small little smudges and tears that were present on that Blu-ray release that are gone on this brand new restoration. It really is one of those, just like kind of where I talked about with The Godfather, is a revelation. Makes Singing in the Rain look absolutely outstanding. They kept the original aspect ratio on this. I am happy to announce it's the 1.37 to 1. They didn't change that at all. But this is a native 4K 2160p on 4K Ultra HD. And it does shine through so much better than what that Blu-ray release has on it. The 4K Ultra HD release is so much more nuanced, and the Technicolor image has drastically finer textures and details that were never, ever present on that 2012 Blu-ray release. Now, there is a Blu-ray release included in this 4K Ultra HD, and I am sorry to say the Blu-ray release in this is the original 2012 Blu-ray release that you're seeing above. So for those of you that are wanting to get this 4K Ultra HD to get the Blu-ray that's basically supposedly of the new scan, that's not included in this 4K Ultra HD, and it's not something that Warner Brothers has said they're even going to release. So to get the best quality of what you're seeing in that 4K Ultra HD release and this new scan and restoration, it's only available on the 4K Ultra HD disc and is not on the Blu-ray disc. So keep that in mind when you get this. That Blu-ray disc is the same 2012 disc as it was released before. But the good news is this 4K Ultra HD release just is so drastically better looking than what you had on that Blu-ray before and looks just outstanding. And this 4K Ultra HD release and the presentation of this Technicolor image is just so beautiful looking that when you watch it, man, I've never seen this film from 1952 ever look this good. And their restoration on this was just great. And I really do hope after watching this that they will continue restoring a lot of these great classic films that Warner Brothers has available to them on 4K Ultra HD, because this really shows you what they were able to do with these older films from like 1952. Now the runtime on it's 103 minutes, so it's very fast paced. For a musical, it keeps things running so beautifully and fast paced that you never feel like there's ever lingering moments that draw out too long. And that's why I feel like Singing in the Rain has always been one of those musicals that I've always enjoyed. Sometimes on musicals, I would feel like they would draw out a musical number too long. And I kind of felt like sometimes you kind of be sitting there, okay, let's get to the next scene. Singing in the Rain never felt that way. And to this day, I still think it holds up beautifully well. And the musical numbers in this are just so much fun to sit back and listen to and hum along to. And I mean, like I said at the beginning, Singing in the Rain is one of those most catchy tunes of any musical that I can really think of. My wife and I, when I got this, started thinking about it and singing it throughout the day, and we're like, man, we've been singing that song all day while we've been thinking about it. And it is one of those things, once you get it in your head, you can't get that tune out. But that's a good thing. That means the tune was enjoyable and it really does stick with you. That it is a stunning classic that deserved to be restored. And I'm happy to say it was really well done in this restoration. Now, if you enjoy this review and you enjoy these videos I work hard to create here on my YouTube channel, make sure to go down and give a super thanks tip or a donation through the PayPal link down below in the description section down below. All of that goes right back into this YouTube channel, and that's how I can afford to keep creating all these 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons that I exclusively create here on my YouTube channel. It's through the support of all of you, my viewers and subscribers. So when you go down and click that super thanks button down below, that's just like a tip. It allows you to give any amount, and that goes right back into this channel and helps me to be able to keep creating all this content. And if after watching this review you decide you want to pick this up and add this to your collection, I've included the link down in the description section below and as a pinned comment in the comment section. So no matter what country you live in or what country you're watching this from, when you click on that link, it'll take you to the closest one for your country, so that way when you buy it, it gets to you the fastest as possible from Amazon. So make sure if you're going to pick it up, click on that link down below. And if you're not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. And don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Now, like we were talking about with this 4K Ultra HD release, it is a native 4K 2160p, and it does have HDR10 on it. So like what you've been seeing in those screenshots above, the HDR10 adds a whole new level of color grading and color variance that was never available on that Blu-ray as well. Though like I did say, there was some slight differences in the new color grading. That original Blu-ray kind of had a more tone of orangey or basically maybe brownish color tone, whereas the new 4K Ultra HD color grading is more a light, slight pink, more skin colored color grading that does, in my opinion, look more natural than what you had on the Blu-ray to begin with. So overall, the color grading on this does look so much better. Not pink as in everything's pink, but just their skin tones are more pinky instead of more orangey or brownish. And that does add to the more element of realism that I do think makes this new restoration so much better looking also. Now, audio-wise, we do get a bunch of different options that make the 4K Ultra HD stand out above the original 2012 Blu-ray as well. So we get a new English DTS Master Audio 5.1 remix. And I did enjoy that. I thought that actually kind of added a nice element to the film. That is a different mix than was ever available in the 2012 Blu-ray as well. That's brand new for this restoration. But here's the nice thing. Warner Brothers has kind of stepped up their game with their release this time. They actually have listened to all of us fans out there, and they've included the original theatrical mono mix, that is the original mix, in a DTS HD 2.0 track on this. So those are in English, both those audio mixes. You get to choose whichever one you want. So I thought that was a really nice touch that Warner Brothers gave us in this release, including several English audio options and doing it with the original mono theatrical mix or the English DTS remix that they did on this. So depending on which you want to listen to, they were both sonically just overall nice and pleasing sounding overall. Though it is something nice to go to the audio mono mix of the theatrical mix in 2.0 just to hear the way it did originally. So I think those are a nice touch, especially for all of us cinephiles that love collecting these. I really do love that Warner Brothers went the extra mile and gave us two different audio mixes that give us two different ways to enjoy this great classic film. Now you also do get Dolby Digital Mono for French, German, Italian, Spanish, Japanese, and those are all included in this, so you can choose whichever one of those if you live in another country to listen to as well. Subtitle wise, we get a plethora of subtitles on this. We get English, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Spanish, plus a bunch of other ones. Now, on the first pressings of these, you do get the nice 70th anniversary sticker that's on the slipcover. It is a very nice, shiny, metallic slipcover on it that I really did like, with the new, basically, cover artwork that I really did like the colors on this, how they really stand out with that shiny slipcover. I talked about pressings of slipcovers. A lot of things that's happening with studios recently is they're only pressing these slipcovers in the first runs. After that, you don't get slipcovers with them anymore. So if you're wanting a slipcover just like this is, you want to pick this up and buy this, and I put that link down below like I talked about. You'll want to buy it within the first couple of weeks to get your slipcover. After that, to save a little money, a lot of studios are just simply not giving slipcovers with these releases at all after that first pressing. Now on the side, it does say Singing in the Rain, Warner Brothers, 4K Ultra HD. Then on the back, it talks about the film. Now you do get a digital copy for Movies Anywhere included in this, so you can redeem that and watch it for that. Though my understanding is a lot of the times those are only with the special features. I did talk about earlier this week the Moonfall review, and on that one it even stated you don't get any of the special features, it's only the movie for the digital copy. That's where, again, the special features and what you get in these physical releases are such a big thing that a lot of people are missing out on anymore. They buy a lot of these digital and you just don't get special features, talking about behind the scenes, the restorations, things like that. Even more so, just as much as the films, and I really enjoy watching those. Well, this has a nice selection of special features. These are the same ones that were released previously. You get commentaries, you get Singing in the Rain on a New Generation, Jump to Song featurettes, theatrical trailers, commentary tracks, and those were the same features that were included on the previous Blu-ray. But the nice thing is we do get those included, especially for a lot of people, this is the first time ever seeing this film. It does include all those special features on this as well. Now getting inside here, you do get a little pamphlet here telling you to vote on if you basically liked this release, things like that. So if you do, make sure to go and do that. You also get your digital copy, and then you get your 4K Ultra HD disc, which is red here, and then you get your original Blu-ray release here. Now it does have a little bit slightly different artwork on it, but it is the same content as what was on that 2012 Blu-ray. On the 4K Ultra HD disc, I did test it. It is a BD66. On the Blu-ray disc, it is a BD50. Now, I do wish Warner Brothers would do everything in BD100s. I really feel like 4K Ultra HDs really need to be on BD100s with special features and all that, just to make sure there's no issues with compression whatsoever. Well, there wasn't any issues with compression throughout the whole film, but it is one of those things that's just a nitpicky as a collector thing. I really like BD100s over BD66s, but with this film, because of how short-paced it is and the special features, there only being so many on it, it had plenty of room for the content on this. Now, both discs on this, I did test the region coding, as I always do exclusively here on my YouTube channel, and both discs are region free. So no matter where you live worldwide, if you want to buy this and import this to your country, as I said, that link down below, it'll ship to anywhere worldwide. And if it's available in your country at Amazon in your country, that link will actually direct you to your country. I've done all the work for all of you, and that one link will send you to the country of your choice wherever you reside. Now, I absolutely love Singing in the Rain, and it's one of my favorite classic musicals of all time. And if you haven't dived into this film or you haven't seen it yet, this is one of those films I suggest you start off watching, because the musical scores in it are great. Just the overall dance numbers and things like that that went behind this are just so well done, and the catchy song, it'll stick with you for days. You won't be able to stop either humming it or thinking it in your head. And that is one of those things that I think makes it such a great classic. Because of those reasons and how great of a job they did with this, with the nuanced look of how great that Technicolor image comes out in this 4K restoration versus that Blu-ray, my review score for this is a great 9.4. This is a must-buy. This is one of those you need to support and add to your collection. If you haven't picked this up yet, the price for it's been great as well. Like I was talking about recently with Moonfall that I just recently reviewed. Heck, the price that Warner Brothers released this at, right around that $24, $25 price mark, US dollars, is a great price point. And around the world, it's pretty similar around there, comparable price-wise. That's a great price. I really don't like when a lot of studios come out and they're releasing these single titles that aren't in big box sets like what Arrow Video does, and they come out and release them for like, $40 or $39.99, even $29.99, things like that and above. If it's just a single release in a single case like this, I really feel like for a 4K Ultra HD release, $25 or less is a great price point. Now, if you're doing something like what Arrow Video does or Second Sight, where they release these huge box sets like I reviewed over the years, we get posters, books, postcards, behind the scenes essays, things like that. I understand why those cost a little more. But heck, RoboCop, when it was released in that limited edition set that I just recently reviewed here like 2 weeks ago, heck, that one price-wise, I think that one was right around $30 to begin with. I think 35 or so. That was a great price. But this one, $24, $25, great job, Warner Brothers. Really did an outstanding job with this release. The restoration on this was such a worthwhile addition that you'll never watch that Blu-ray again. And that's why Warner Brothers' release of Singing in the Rain on 4K Ultra HD received a review score of 9.4. Audio was great. The HDR10 looked great on it. Now, was it up there with a reference quality disc because of this being a 1952 movie? I mean, it is a native 4K 2160p that they did for this with this new scan, but it's not going to be up there with something that just is obviously just reference quality Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision. That's why this deserved a 9.4, and this is a must-buy. If you like classic films or musicals, or you've just never checked this out, you're missing out on a great classic that you really need to pick up and add to your collection, and this is the best way to watch it. You won't want to watch that Blu-ray. This 4K looks so much better. Make sure to start the conversation down in the comment section below. Let me know how excited you were for Singing in the Rain, and if you really enjoyed this 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison that I did here to show you the big differences between the two of these. I love when they release these classic films. I've talked about this for the last several years. We really need to see more of these classic films restored. And on 4K Ultra HD, if done correctly, just like Singing in the Rain and Godfather and all these I've talked about, they do look outstanding and really highlight why these 4Ks are so important and really are just such a big upgrade over those Blu-rays. But make sure to support this review. I've been talking to a lot of you about this, but if I don't see a lot more support for these older films, they're harder to do these 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons for me because they take me 5 days of hard work per review to create these reviews, to get the data off of them. Because I don't use data from another source, I have to do this all myself to provide these accurate presentations. I can only do so many of these and they take a lot of time. So if these don't get enough support, I can't continue to constantly go out and do these types of reviews. So make sure, if you really enjoy these classic films like I do, make sure to support these reviews. Give us super thanks down below or a donation, so that way I see that these reviews are being supported. And I have to justify how to afford to create these reviews, because Warner Brothers doesn't send these. I'm not sponsored by anybody. Nobody sends these to me for review. I have to go out and buy these and then spend 5 days of hard work creating all of these for all of you to watch and enjoy. I had fun with this one though. I really enjoy these classic films, so make sure to support these so I see the support for these. I always love to hear if this is something that you were excited for after you watched my exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons above. If you're gonna pick it up, I put those links down below. Make sure to use one of those links as well. Make sure to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. and hit that bell notification. That way you get notified every time I release one of these videos. And I hope all of you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new and exciting coming out very soon.